Hello, and this is Ryan coming to you from the ACAS newsroom. Because May is Asian Heritage Month, I'm speaking with the staff at ACAS about their favorite Asian LGBTQ movie. So, tell me, what is your favorite Asian LGBTQ movie?
So I picked Happy Together. It's a Hong Kong movie in 1997. It's by Wong Kar-wai, a famous Hong Kong director too.
Đó là bộ phim Thưa mẹ con đi, có tên tiếng Anh là Goodbye Mother.
The half of it.
The half of it.
The movie's name is Permanent Residence.
What's the movie about?
咁呢一套電影咧係關於一對 gay couple 啦，咁佢哋就係香港出發咧去到阿根廷係南美嘅一個國家，咁咧係希望去即係重新修補同埋慶祝佢哋之間嘅一個感情。咁不過咧喺去到阿根廷之後發生咗好多事咧，令到佢哋發覺可能其實佢哋之間嘅關係咧已經漸漸咁疏遠，或者有啲好唔合嘅地方。咁所以呢一套電影就係關於佢哋嘅 relationship 咯。
Phim kể về cuộc hành trình quay về đất mẹ của Vân và Ian sau một khoảng thời gian học ở Mỹ. Thì họ là một cặp đôi nhưng mà họ cảm thấy rất là khó khăn khi mà công khai cái mối quan hệ của họ với gia đình, nơi mà cái gia đình đó là rất là truyền thống và có gắn kết với nhiều người.
The premise is essentially that L.A. Chu, who is a Chinese student in a very white community, gets straight A's and kind of writes papers for other students in exchange for money. And one day, a football player, Paul, kind of approaches her and asks her to write a love letter to someone he's crushing on. And it turns out that it's the same person that she's crushing on. And it's just about those shenanigans and them becoming friends and figuring out what love is to them.
It's about a successful gay man fell in love with a straight man and their stories. The story is more about introducing a timeline, which were not only gay related. For example, it will say in certain years what kind of disease happened somewhere, and then that caused certain number of people dying. And also like in what year, which country legalized gay marriage. It's like giving a lot of background, and it's more, I feel it's more like his own story. Yeah.
Why is this your favorite Asian LGBTQ movie?
Because Vietnamese first, and it also different from another movie that belong to LGBTQ plus movie. It's not sad like Call Me By Your Name something, but yeah, it focus on family problem about the process of coming out, acceptance from mother to their gay son. So I love it.
To me, it's one of the classic Asian LGBTQ movie, and I'm so touched by it every time I watch it. So it's about relationship, identity, loneliness. It's very dimensional, and to me, it's very artistic, very realistic, portraying a gay relationship too. Very highly emotional, and I'm just amazed by the lighting, the colors, and the cinematography of the movie. So it's a very beautifully made Asian like LGBTQ movie to me. So I highly recommend it to everybody.
Back in 2012, I was not exposed to too much media. And then that was one of the very few gay movies I watched. So it was pretty open in the movie. Like the guys were completely naked in several scenes. And it was a little bit, for me, it was very new. And that made me remember it. And I really liked the personality of the gay guy in the movie. And I actually wanted to watch it again, but I couldn't find the source anywhere.
I was I was really emotional throughout the whole thing. I was kind of on the verge of tears, but not necessarily because of any of the themes really tackled throughout the show. There was just a lot of like motifs. So one of my favorite things was just how Ellie's house actually started off extremely dark, and throughout the movie slowly gets brighter and brighter and brighter.
And what I really enjoyed too the most was the relationships that, or the types of relationships that were formed in the movie. It was like very layered, very complex, between Ellie, Aster, and Paul, where it was like very chaotic, very messy, but also very like enlightening and very sweet and rich, which I feel like is such a great portrayal of how relationships actually are like.
I really enjoyed like just the small nods to being the child of an immigrant. So for example, Ellie has to call the electrical company to settle the bills. And like I had to edit my mom's emails when I was little.
So I really loved the movie, and I'm sure there's like several different ways that someone could critique it or challenge it, which is totally fine. For me, I believe in that you could be critical of a movie but still enjoy it.
I think a lot of the critiques that I'm reading are very much from a very adult perspective, from the perspective of like, I've already grown, I've already experienced this is wrong, this is weird. I will say that there is a warning for like, for example, non-consensual kissing and whatnot, but to me, that's more critique than an actual endorsement of these actions, because I do briefly touch upon it in the movie. I think you do have to watch it through the lens of like, these kids in the movie, they don't know what love is, and all of this awkward experience of like kissing and like touching and whatnot is part of that growth and experience. And I think you really need to see it through the lens of like, how are these people growing, and how can I grow from like watching this movie.
Also, the movie had like no queer people dying as well, like they were all alive.
Thank you for tuning in. So that's not all the staff at ACAS, but not everyone has seen an LGBTQ Asian movie that they could recommend. But there's actually a lot out there. So if you want more suggestions for queer Asian content to watch, check out our other videos.